Before beginning any repairs on your heat press, be sure to unplug the press from the wall outlet and unplug the power cord from the back of your press. Remove the 4 screws securing the housing cover from the housing unit. 3 of the screws are indicated here and the 4th is on the far side of the cover. Carefully lift off the top control housing and using a number 2 Phillips screwdriver, unscrew the control board bracket from the control housing. Now, using a number 1 Phillips screwdriver, unscrew the control board from the top control housing. You'll need to hold the small nut on the end of the screw while performing this step. Be careful not to lose the nuts. Unplug the wires from the on-off switch. Unclip and unplug the red and green temperature probe wire and the ground wire from the control board. On the terminal block, unscrew and remove the cloth-covered wires from terminals 3 and 5. Now that the old control board assembly is free, set it aside and replace it with the new one from Hottronics. We'll reverse the steps for our new control board assembly. Attach the cloth-covered wires to terminals 3 and 5 on the assembly. The wires are numbered to ensure that you put the correct wire on the correct terminal. Next, carefully reattach and secure the temperature probe wire and the ground wire to the circuit board. And finally attach the last 2 wires to the on-off switch. Both blacks on one side of the divider, whites on the other. When fitting the control board assembly into the housing cover, be sure to slide it under the retaining clips. Insert the screws into the control board bracket and secure it to the housing cover. Thread the control board screws you removed earlier through the top control housing and the control board. Carefully place the nut over the end of the bolt and hold in place while tightening. Here's a close-up look of the bolt placement. Be sure not to over-tighten these as they could damage the board. Replace the housing cover on the housing unit, insert the on-off switch into its slot, and close up the housing unit. Secure the housing cover to the housing unit with the 4 screws removed earlier. Plug the press's power cord into the back of the heat press and the other end into the dedicated outlet. Turn on the heat press. The number displayed shows the version of the new control board, in this case version 10. You are now ready to calibrate the temperature on your heat press. You'll begin by setting the temperature to 350 degrees and the timer to 10 seconds. Place one of the included heat test strips in the center of the lower platen. Once the press reaches the 350 degree temperature, lock the press down using medium pressure. When the 10 seconds has elapsed, open the press and check the test strip. The test strip will blacken and reveals the actual temperature of the heat platen. If the test strip and your control panel match, then you're done. If not, turn off your press. With one hand, hold in the minus and plus buttons on the control panel, and with the other, turn on the press. The temperature set and time lights will all be lit. Adjust the temperature display to reflect the temperature reading you received on your test strip. When the correct temperature displays, press the mode button to exit the control panel setup. You can now perform a test print. You have just successfully replaced your t-shirt press control board. If you require additional service support, call 1-800-727-8520.